again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski. Some people call me Grizzer. And this is where you can stop on in and get caught up on some of the latest news involving our favorite team, the Cleveland Browns, and get a take or two along the way. Thank you to everyone who has liked the previous episodes. Hopefully you'll like today's episode. And all of you who have subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate hearing from you in the viewer comment section. Coming up on today's show, what is missing from the Browns wide receiver room? Well, to find the biggest deficiency, all you have to do is take a look at the list of rookie undrafted free agents and camp invitees that will be here next week. Also, a Browns legend loves our new safety, and he explains in detail what he will bring to the defense. We're going to have some fun, because I have picked one game that I would love for each of our quarterbacks. I've got a game for all four of our quarterbacks that I would absolutely love to see them start. And in the viewer comments, what Kenny Pickett will take away from our rookie quarterbacks. But before we talk quarterbacks, we need to talk wide receiver. What is missing from the Browns wide receiver room? And I'll tell you what it is. It's a slot receiver. And we already have Deontay Johnson, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman. They're all in the mix. But these guys play on the outside, right? And there's a real need for somebody to step up and play in the slot. And when you look at the guys that the Browns are bringing into camp, it's very evident. Let's take a look at just a few of the guys. Gage Larvadain. I know it's spelled Larvadain, but they pronounce it Larvadain. I went to the South Carolina website and checked it out, but we got him from South Carolina. He's 5'9", 180 pounds, but he played at Southeastern Louisiana before transferring to Miami of Ohio for 2 seasons, and then finished his college career at South Carolina. Overall, he had 135 catches, around 2,100 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Here's the thing with him, though. South Carolina also used him out of the backfield sometimes, too, so he's a bit of a gadget guy. Luke Floria from Kent State, local guy, 5'10", 168 pounds. He's coming off a 2024 season where he set a record in receptions. These are all records for him, personal records. In receptions with 44, yards with 699, and touchdowns with 7. And he had 3 100-yard receiving games. He spent all 5 years with the Golden Flashes. So there's that experience thing again. 48 games he played with them, and he finishes his college career with 100 receptions, over 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. He averaged 13 yards a catch. And then you got a guy like Cade McDonald, another more Maction. Miami of Ohio guy. He's a 5'11", 195 pounds. Again, he's another guy. Career highs in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns last year. 12 yards a catch with the Red Hawks. Now, this is a guy who walked on at Michigan State and played 45 games overall with Michigan State and Miami. So he's been around the big guys in the Big Ten over there at Michigan State. Now, what is significant? What is the common denominator among all these guys? They're small, they're fast, they're shifty. Think Julian Edelman, think Wes Welker. That's who these guys are. I think David Bell will be in the mix of this because I view him as, Bell's 6'1", he's a little bit bigger than that, but he just catches everything, just sure-handed. And for all my back in the day Browns fans, Brian Brennan. Just think like Bernie had Brian Brennan to go to, Webster Slaughter on the outside. I mean, this is where we're kind of going with that. And yet Ozzie Newsome at tight end. We're kind of building this offense the same way. And so, really, it is a deficiency in the wide receiver room. And you look at the list of guys who are coming in. There's going to be an opportunity for somebody. If somebody steps up and takes the reins, they could see a lot of action in the slot. Now, one guy who saw a lot of action for us back in the day is Hanford Dixon. And when the Browns signed Demonte KZ from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Hanford was pretty excited about it. Listen to what he said. He says, he's like the quarterback in the defensive backfield. He's that guy that could make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. And any checks that have to be made, meaning whoever the offense is, whenever the offense makes a change, different formation, start in one formation, go to another formation, he is the guy that can call the checks. So high praise from the big dog, Hanford Dixon, for KZ. And remember, too, KZ's an enforcer. I mean, he got himself suspended, putting Michael Pittman in concussion protocol, but he's an enforcer, and we can always use that kind of, I mean, especially in our division with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, you get in those games, man, they're so physical, and now you throw that in, the revenge factor, too, with Pittsburgh twice a year, and so Hanford Dixon breaking it down and really kind of shining a light on KZ and what he can bring to the team. Now, one of the things that I would love to see play out this year, I think there's really no chance of this happening, and that's why it was kind of included in my fake take on the schedule and how the schedule will play out, but I would love to see each of these quarterbacks that we have, Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders, start at least this one game for each of them on the schedule. And here we go. Let's break it down. I would love to see, make sure, and I think this one is probably the one that has the best chance of happening. Joe Flacco going back to Baltimore. Remember, he didn't play Baltimore when he was with us. He did not play Baltimore last year. He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, and Joe Flacco, week 2, starting at Baltimore. Now, Baltimore might know all of his secrets. I don't know, but Flacco should know all of Baltimore's defensive secrets, right? Anyway, I just think it would be very intriguing, and it'd be fun to see like what the Ravens feel, how they welcome him back, and how all that would play out. Now, same scenario, week 6. Boy, oh boy, Kenny Pickett going back to Pittsburgh. How awesome would it be to see Pickett start against the Steelers in the Steel City? Man, oh man, that would be fun to see. And man, if he could beat Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's tanking anyway, so when he beats Pittsburgh in week 6, oh my gosh, that would be so great. But at that point, by the time we get to week 6, who knows? I mean, I would say this is a second best possibility. I mean, if Flacco struggles out of the gate a little bit and the offense is sputtering, I mean, Pickett might get the chance. The other thing is Pickett may start the season. I mean, me personally, I think Flacco is our best bet to start the season just because of his understanding of the offense. But if Pickett, man, if he gets the shot to go back into Pittsburgh, that will be must-see TV. Also, week 10, Dylan Gabriel going to the New York Jets to take on Justin Fields, and the Jets are a mess. They're always a mess. But here's why I like Gabriel week 10. Week 9 is the bye week. He'll have 2 weeks to prepare to get him ready for his first NFL start, if it even is. I mean, who knows? Gabriel could be pressed into duty even sooner than that. But that would be fun to watch, to see him go into the Big Apple, and it's going to be in November 9th, and it'll be cold, and it'd be fun to see Dylan Gabriel take on the Jets. Plus, the Jets are green, and he'll think he's back playing with Oregon. So I think that would help him too, make him feel comfortable. Anyway, I digress. And then week 14, this would be a great one. Shedeur Sanders, December 7th, at home, taking on Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans, the number 1 pick in the draft. Ooh, it would be great to see Shedeur, who everybody thought he was could possibly go number 2 in this draft. Could have number 1 and number 2 going against each other. And then don't forget, the next week, the Browns have the Bears, and last year's number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, is there, and so you could have Shedeur taking on the 2 number 1 overall picks, both quarterbacks, in consecutive weeks. That would be something else, but I think that would be great to see Shedeur Sanders taking on Cam Ward at home in his first game. I would love to see it. I mean, I think the chances of any of that happening, or other than Flacco starting against Baltimore, I think all the chances are pretty slim. But boy, oh boy, we can dream. Nothing we have to dream about here, because the viewer comments, you guys are like the mailman. You always deliver with the viewer comments. And today we'll start with Jacob Hinkle, 8581. Apparently he doesn't want to see Flacco start against Cincinnati, Baltimore, or anybody. He simply says, Flacco to the couch. Now, we got him off the couch, so he will eventually go back to the couch, and we've talked about this before. But I think that he's the guy that if it were me, I would trust the guy who's got experience in the offense first to start the season and see where it goes. I don't think it's going to be anything. It won't be anything long term, but I do think you could start there. Rob W. 9852. Nah, Pickett is out. Sanders and Gabriel are obviously in, and Flacco is the best quarterback on the team right now. Pickett isn't the future and will only take reps from the rookies. True. Here's what I think will balance out. I think Flacco's reps will probably be on the lower end, and I think Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders will all get equal amount of reps. I think. I mean, this is just me talking. I think you could get away with that because of Flacco's experience. But here's the other thing. Rob W. 9852. There's still a lot of talk about Kenny Pickett being this year's Sam Darnold. They really think that there's a reclamation project there that they can go in and flip Kenny Pickett and turn him into something special. So that's what I mean with this quarterback room. There are so many storylines going into this season. It's going to be so fun to watch. Elaine 8186 says Shedeur has shined a new light on the Cleveland Browns in a positive way and has been dominating all media because he was picked in the 5th round. The media has already made him the face of the franchise. And what I like about this is that's a good point. Shedeur falls to the 5th round. We take him. Everybody says, oh, it's going to be a circus. It's going to be a... One, I haven't felt that at all. Do we get expanded media coverage? And, sure, but that's on the media. I mean, they're doing that. Like I told you, we had it with Manziel when Manziel came here. But then, he for all the wrong reasons. Shedeur's here now. And, the media making him the face of the franchise? Yeah. I mean, it's not the Browns facilitating this. It's the media. Now, I will say the Browns are putting him out there. He's doing, the Browns podcast and things like that. And, but to me, this is turning a negative into a positive, right? He falls to the 5th round. We get him. And everybody's saying, oh, you're in trouble now. You got this circus. You're going to have to deal with it. This is to me, and this is, I mean this in a good way. This is the biggest backfire in a while, because everybody who thought this was going to be a negative, it has backfired. It has not been a negative at all, in my opinion. And so Elaine 8186, she sees it, and I 100% agree. And then I had to use this one. This one just cracked me up. Marvin's Antoine 03R. And so all he writes is less Cleveland, more Shedeur. And he put 3 smiley faces. It just cracked me up because that's my first request. I haven't gotten any requests yet, but he followed it up when I told him. I said this really cracked me up, and he said go Browns. So he's here for the Browns too. But I'm assuming his first name is Antoine, and Antoine, that really cracked me up. And folks, I promise you, I strive for actual and factual. Yes, I do like TLC. I've seen them in concert. Actual and factual is what I always show. What I feel are the stories people are talking about are always where we're going to lean on this program. And speaking of that, we're done with this one. Thank you so much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, comment. Love it all. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up here. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.